Welcome. From feared names to forgotten headstones, today we explore the graves of history's most notorious criminals and the stories that followed them to the end. John Gotti died on June 10, 2002, age 61. Buried at St. John's Cemetery, New York. Gambino boss known as the Dapper Don and later the Teflon Don. Ed Gein died on July 26, 1984, age 77. Buried in Wisconsin. Murderer and grave robber whose crimes inspired Psycho, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and countless horror myths. John Dillinger died on July 22, 1934, age 31. Buried at Crown Hill Cemetery, Indiana. Bank robber turned folk anti-hero. Gunned down by federal agents outside a theater. Lee Harvey Oswald died on November 24, 1963, age 24. Buried at Shannon Rose Hill Cemetery, Texas. Accused assassin of President John F. Kennedy, killed before trial. Ma Barker died on January 16, 1935, age 62. Buried at Highland Cemetery, Missouri. Alleged gang matriarch linked to the Barker Karpus gang and Public Enemy fame. Henry Starr died February 22, 1921, age 47. Buried at Dewey Cemetery, Oklahoma. Prolific outlaw who robbed banks on horseback, then by automobile, claiming over 20 heists. Bonnie Parker died on May 23, 1934, age 23. Buried at Crown Hill Memorial Park, Texas. Half of the Bonnie and Clyde duo, infamous for robberies and killings across the Southwest. Ethel Rosenberg died on June 19, 1953, age 37. Buried at Wellwood Cemetery, New York. Executed for espionage after conviction for passing atomic secrets to the Soviets. Carla Faye Tucker died February 3, 1998, age 38. Buried at Mount Olive Cemetery, Texas. Murderer executed for killing 2 people with a pickaxe, becoming central to death penalty debates. Birdman of Alcatraz died November 21, 1963, age 73. Buried at Green Lawn Cemetery, Missouri. Convicted killer who gained fame for raising birds in prison and writing respected works on ornithology. Willie Sutton died November 2, 1980, age 79. Buried at Woodlawn Cemetery, New York. Legendary bank robber who stole millions, escaped prison repeatedly, and became a folk anti-hero of crime. Carlo Gambino died October 15, 1976, age 74. Buried at St. John's Cemetery, New York. Low-profile crime boss who quietly built the Gambino family into America's most powerful syndicate. Charles Starkweather died June 25, 1959, age 20. Executed at Nebraska State Penitentiary. Buried at Weucha Cemetery. Teenage spree killer who murdered 11 across Nebraska and Wyoming. Jesse James died on April 3, 1882, age 34. Buried at Mount Olivet Cemetery, Missouri. Legendary outlaw who led robberies after the Civil War and inspired folk myths. Albert Anastasia died on October 25, 1957, age 55. Buried at Greenwood Cemetery, New York. Mafia execution boss of Murder Incorporated, assassinated in a barber chair. John Wesley Hardin died August 19, 1895, age 42. Buried at El Paso Concordia Cemetery, Texas. Notorious gunfighter claiming dozens of kills, later a lawyer before being shot dead. Billy the Kid died on July 14, 1881, age 21. Buried at Old Fort Sumner Cemetery, New Mexico. Legendary outlaw of the Wild West, killed by Sheriff Pat Garrett. Lucky Luciano died on January 26, 1962, age 64. Buried at St. John's Cemetery, New York. Architect of modern organized crime and the national mafia structure. Blackbeard died on November 22, 1718, age unknown. Memorial only. Feared pirate captain killed in battle. His severed head displayed as a warning to other sea raiders. Mickey Cohen died July 29, 1976, age 62. Buried at Hillside Memorial Park Cemetery, California. Violent Los Angeles mob boss who survived shootings, bombings, and became a national crime celebrity. Charles Whitman died August 1, 1966, age 25. Former Marine who carried out the University of Texas Tower Massacre, killing 16 people. Virginia Hill died March 24, 1966, age 49. Buried at Zentralfriedhof Cemetery, Vienna, Austria. Chicago outfit courier and longtime partner of Bugsy Siegel, deeply tied to mob finances. Joe Masseria died April 15, 1931, age 50. Buried at Calvary Cemetery, New York. Mafia boss whose assassination ended the Castellamarese War and reshaped American organized crime. Henry Lee Lucas died March 12, 2001, age 64. Buried at Elmwood Cemetery, Texas. Convicted murderer infamous for false confessions that once tied him to hundreds of crimes. Johnny Ringo died July 13, 1882, age 32. Buried at Boot Hill Cemetery, Arizona. Old West gunman linked to the Cochise County Cowboys, remembered for violence and a mysterious death. Leon Czolgosz died on October 29, 1901, age 28. Buried at Forest Lawn Cemetery, New York. Anarchist who assassinated President William McKinley in 1901. John Wilkes Booth died on April 26, 1865, age 26. Buried at Greenmount Cemetery, Maryland. Actor who assassinated President Abraham Lincoln at Ford's Theater in 1865. Pablo Escobar died on December 2, 1993, age 44. Buried in Medellin, Colombia. Drug lord who built a cocaine empire and fueled terror, corruption, and thousands of deaths. Jaime Weiss died October 11, 1926, age 29. Buried at Waldheim Jewish Cemetery, Illinois. Northside gang leader and bitter rival of Al Capone, famously feared by him. Saddam Hussein died on December 30, 2006, age 69. Buried near Al-Auja, Iraq. Dictator executed after conviction for crimes against humanity following his brutal rule. Soapy Smith died on July 8, 1898, age 38. Buried in Alaska. Con man who ruled frontier towns through scams, corruption, and criminal control during the Klondike era. Dean Corll died August 8, 1973, age 33. Buried at Klein Cemetery, Texas. Serial killer who murdered at least 29 boys, aided by teenage accomplices in Houston. Ruth Snyder died on January 12, 1928, age 32, buried in New York. Murderer executed in the electric chair. Remembered for the infamous photograph taken at her death. Al Capone died on January 25, 1947, age 48. Buried at Mount Carmel Cemetery, Illinois. Chicago crime boss who dominated bootlegging before imprisonment for tax evasion. Dutch Schultz died on October 24, 1935, age 35. Buried at Ferncliff Cemetery, New York. Violent mobster who ruled bootlegging and numbers rackets before a gangland hit. Vito Genovese died on February 14, 1969, age 71. Buried at St. John's Cemetery, New York. Mafia boss whose name still defines one of the five families. Frank Scalise died on June 17, 1957, age 60. Buried in New York. Mafia underboss assassinated during an internal power struggle that reshaped organized crime leadership. Johnny Torrio died on April 16, 1957, age 75. Buried at Mount Carmel Cemetery, Illinois. Crime boss and mentor to Al Capone, who shaped Chicago's underworld. Lewis Powell died on July 7, 1865, age 21. Buried in Washington. Confederate sympathizer executed for his role in the conspiracy to assassinate President Abraham Lincoln. Carl Panzram died September 5, 1930, age 39. Executed at Leavenworth Prison, Kansas. Buried on prison grounds. Sadistic serial killer who confessed to dozens of murders. Clyde Barrow died on May 23, 1934, age 25. Buried at Western Heights Cemetery, Texas. Depression-era outlaw who robbed banks and murdered officers with Bonnie Parker. Bumpy Johnson died on July 7, 1968, age 62. Buried at Woodlawn Cemetery, New York. Harlem crime boss who ruled numbers, drugs, and street power for decades. Boss Tweed died April 12, 1878, age 55. Buried at Greenwood Cemetery, Brooklyn. Corrupt political boss who ruled New York through Tammany Hall, looting the city on a massive scale. Paul Ricca died October 11, 1972, age 80. Buried at Mount Carmel Cemetery, Illinois. Quiet power behind the Chicago outfit, once named America's most important criminal by a U.S. Senate panel. Fred Barker died January 16, 1935, age 31. Buried at Williams Cemetery, Missouri. Violent Barker Carpus gang member killed in a shootout after robberies and kidnappings nationwide. Boston Strangler died November 25, 1973, age 42. Buried at St. Patrick's Cemetery, Massachusetts. Serial killer who terrorized Boston women before being murdered inside prison. Joe Profaci died June 6, 1962, age 64. Buried at St. John's Cemetery, New York. Mafia boss and founder of the Colombo crime family, ruling his organization for over 3 decades. Big Jim Colosimo died May 11, 1920, age 42. Buried at Mount Carmel Cemetery, Illinois. Chicago crime boss whose prostitution empire paved the way for later mob dominance. Francis Tumblety died May 28, 1903, age 73. Buried at Kensal Green Cemetery, London. Eccentric medical fraud and self-promoter later suspected by some investigators of being Jack the Ripper. Bonnie Graham died June 4, 1959, age 28. Executed at San Quentin State Prison, California. Convicted of murder during a robbery that led to the death of an elderly widow. Belle Starr died on February 3, 1889, age 40. Buried in Oklahoma. Outlaw turned legend, later mythologized as the Queen of Bandits after her still unsolved murder. Joe Bonanno died May 11, 2002, age 97. Buried at St. Francis Cemetery, Phoenix, Arizona. Founder and longtime boss of the Bonanno crime family, surviving decades of mob wars. The Cray twins. Ronnie died March 17, 1995, age 61. Reggie died October 1, 2000, age 66. Buried at Chingford Mount Cemetery, London. Twin gangsters who ruled London's underworld. Frank Nitti died on March 19, 1943, age 56. Buried at Queen of Heaven Cemetery, Illinois. Capone's enforcer who ran Chicago's outfit after federal crackdowns. Harry Orchard died on August 18, 1954, age 90. Buried at Washington State Penitentiary Cemetery. Confessed hitman behind political bombings during violent labor conflicts. Bugsy Siegel died on June 20, 1947, age 41. Buried at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, California. Gangster who helped build Las Vegas and died in a mob hit. Clay Allison died on July 3, 1887, age 43. Buried in Texas. Erratic gunfighter and outlaw rumored to have killed several men during the violent years of the American frontier. Sam Giancana died June 19, 1975, age 67. Buried at Mount Carmel Cemetery, Illinois. Chicago outfit boss tied to organized crime, politics, and intelligence agencies. Meyer Lansky died January 15, 1983, age 80. Buried at Mount Nebo Memorial Park, Florida. Financial architect of organized crime, controlling gambling empires across the United States and the Caribbean. Alfred Packer died on April 23, 1907, age 65. Buried at Riverside Cemetery, Colorado. Infamous cannibal convicted after a doomed expedition in the Rockies. Dan White died October 21, 1985, age 39. Buried at Holy Cross Cemetery, California. Former politician who assassinated San Francisco Mayor George Moscone. Lepka Buchalter died March 4, 1944, age 47. buried at Mount Carmel Cemetery, New York, head of Murder Incorporated and the only major organized crime boss executed in the electric chair. Kid Twist, ruthless, died November 12, 1941, age 35, buried at Mount Carmel Cemetery, New York. Murder Incorporated hitman turned informant who died under suspicious custody circumstances. Machine Gun Kelly, died on July 18, 1954, age 59, buried at Cottonwood Cemetery, Kansas. Kidnapper and gangster who spent his final years behind prison walls. Sam Bass, died on July 21, 1878, age 27, buried at Sam Bass Cemetery, Texas. Train robber whose short life became one of the West's enduring outlaw legends. Jack Ruby, died on January 3, 1967, age 55, buried at West Lawn Cemetery, Illinois. Nightclub owner who murdered Lee Harvey Oswald on live television. Elmer McCurdy, died on October 7, 1911, age 30, buried at Summit View Cemetery, Oklahoma. Failed outlaw whose mummified body became a carnival sideshow attraction. Bill Doolin, died on August 25, 1896, age 41, buried at Summit View Cemetery, Oklahoma. Leader of the Wild Bunch Gang, killed by lawmen after years on the run. Dion O'Banion, died on November 10, 1924, age 32, buried at Mount Carmel Cemetery, Illinois. Northside gang leader whose murder ignited Chicago's violent bootlegging wars. Cole Younger, died March 21, 1916, age 72, buried at Lee's Summit Cemetery, Missouri. Confederate guerrilla turned outlaw leader with the James Younger Gang behind Midwest robberies. Babyface Nelson, died on November 27, 1934, age 25, buried in Illinois. Infamous Dillinger ally whose violent career included killing FBI agents before dying in a roadside shootout. Jack McCall, died on March 1, 1877, age 24, buried in South Dakota. Drifter who murdered Wild Bill Hickok during a poker game, creating the legend of the dead man's hand. Bob Younger, died September 15, 1889, age 36, buried at Lee's Summit Cemetery, Missouri. James Younger gang member who carried out armed robberies across the Midwest with his outlaw brothers. Tom Folliard, died December 13, 1880, age 20, buried at Fort Sumner Cemetery, New Mexico. Close friend of Billy the Kid and member of the Regulators during the Lincoln County War. Emmett Dalton, died July 13, 1937, age 66, buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, California. Dalton gang outlaw who survived the Coffeyville massacre after being shot 23 times. Joe Colombo, died May 22, 1978, age 54, buried at St. John Cemetery, New York. Mafia boss who founded the Italian-American Civil Rights League before being shot at a public rally. Albert Speer, died September 1, 1981, age 76, buried at Bergfriedhof Cemetery, Heidelberg, Germany. Nazi armaments chief, Hitler confidant, later convicted at Nuremberg and imprisoned. Ronald Ryan, died February 3, 1967, age 41, executed at Pentridge Prison, Melbourne, Australia. Last person legally executed in Australia, sparking nationwide protests. Mad Dog Call, died on February 8, 1932, age 23, buried at St. Raymond's Cemetery, New York. Notorious hitman whose reckless killing shocked New York's underworld. Frank Costello, died on February 18, 1973, age 82, buried at St. Michael's Cemetery, New York. Mafia power broker called the Prime Minister of the Underworld. Kid Curry, died on June 8, 1904, age 36, buried at Pioneer Cemetery, Montana. Deadly Wild Bunch gunman blamed for multiple murders and relentless manhunts. Pretty Boy Floyd, died on October 22, 1934, age 30, buried at Aiken Cemetery, Oklahoma. Depression-era bank robber mythologized as a folk hero despite violent crimes. Tommy Lucchese, died on July 13, 1967, age 67, buried at Calvary Cemetery, New York. Mafia strategist who quietly built one of the most powerful crime families.